All right, guys, here goes nothing. This is a redo of a video that I'd already done before where there were audio issues. This is for my 6th pre-AP students. This is a video tutorial concerning combining integers. Now, the reason that I like to call it combining integers is because when I tend to use the word adding or subtracting integers, it tends to throw students off a little bit, so I just like to call it combining. You're putting positive and negative integers together. Okay, so let's look at example number 1. We see that this seal in the picture is swimming in the ocean 5 feet below sea level. It dives down 12 feet. And we're going to associate diving down 12 feet with a negative number because of the fact that if you notice the sea level is represented by 0. So anything below that is going to be considered a negative. Anything that starts below sea level and goes lower, again, we're going to associate with a negative number. Then the seal swims 8 feet towards the surface with its catch. Now, swimming up, of course, is going to be representative of a positive number. We're getting closer to 0, which is closer to the level of the sea or the sea surface. What is the seal's final elevation relative to the sea level? Now, we're going to write an expression. An expression normally is numbers or letters, variables, etc., that are separated by operators. Your operators are going to be your positive or your negative number, also known as subtraction and addition. So the seal again starts at 5 feet below the surface, so its initial position is going to be negative 5 feet. So I'm going to switch this over where I can actually show you my work. Okay, so combining integers is going to be 6.3D, I believe we saw in the other window. Let's go ahead and confirm 6.3D exactly. Okay, now if we notice, again, I'm going to write this out. The seal started at negative 5 feet. Okay, and I'm going to make that abbreviation, which we're going to represent as the integer negative 5. Now, some students tend to have more difficulty with this particular concept, and that's why I'm doing this video, because I want to make sure that we are all on the same page. Now, that seal then dove 12 feet deeper to eat. We're going to represent that as negative 12. Now notice I'm putting boxes around these numbers. That's typically the method that we like to teach our students, in that there's a box method. You're going to put the integer plus the sign right in front of it together so you know exactly what you're doing when you're combining. Then it rose another 8 feet to return to a certain level underwater. And the reason I said a certain level underwater is because we don't know what that level is just yet. So it rose, again, a positive 8 feet. Now, when I am going to put these together, what I'm going to do is I'm going to string them together. I'm going to first write my integers and what they were, but I'm going to string them together with positive signs, okay? Or addition, okay? So again, it started off at negative 5. We're going to then add an additional negative 12. So adding a negative is like subtracting, but we're not going to say that word. I just want to combine them, so that's why we're using the addition sign. Then I'm going to add an additional 8 feet to its surface, okay? So what I want to do is I want to just do this in different steps. So part A says that I'm going to combine all of those numbers. So I want to go ahead and put both of my negatives together. I like to put the signs that are alike together at first. It tends to make a little bit more sense to students. So when I'm putting two negatives together, those numbers are going to become more negative. So I want to say negative 5 plus a negative 12 is going to be a negative 17. Okay, again, a box. So I know that that seal is now at a negative 17 feet. That's where it was eating. Now, for whatever reason or another, it decided that it wanted to rise. Okay, rising closer to surface. Okay. So I'm going to start off with that negative 17, which is where it was. I'm going to add an additional positive 8 feet to that. So in this particular case, where does the seal end up? So I'm going to give you a moment just to think about that. If you want to pause it, if you're a parent, you want to talk it over with your child before we continue, I'll go ahead and stop now. And when you're ready, just go ahead and unpause me. Okay, we're back. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give you the answer. Hopefully we came up with the same answer. Hopefully you were following along on your paper. We're then going to end up with or at what level under the water? Again, we started off with negative 17. I added an additional 8 feet. Negative 17 plus 8 will be, that's a negative 9 feet below, that's a negative 9 feet under that water, or we would say 9 feet below sea level, okay? So again, it's going to be negative 9 feet or just 9 feet below sea level. I hope that this tutorial has assisted you with this particular TEK. If you want additional examples, you may go to the Go Math book. You may also go to the table of contents, find 6.3D, click there. It'll take you to additional independent practice. Again, if you have additional questions, you may ask me in class. You can come to tutorials. And as always, I'll see you tomorrow.